everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Spike, Coffee, and Sarcasm. I'm Van.
I'm Chris.
And we're gonna, I don't know, what are we gonna do? See, this is what happens. I decided I wanted another adult beverage while doing the show, and this is what happens. My mind goes blank. But, anyway.
Welcome to my life, Van. Welcome to my life.
Right? It's like once you have kids, your brain just goes to mush. Like, I literally think every kid that you have, you lose brain. I don't know how many thousands of brain cells. Like, it just goes out of, it just.
I'm almost
you're pretty
dead.
much dumb.
I'm just dumb, yeah.
You're pretty much dumb because you had 4. So. So what's been going on with you this week? We haven't. Usually we are talking like every day on email and everything, but I think we have both been really busy.
Yeah, so this week it's been kind of a crazy week. Well, as you know, last week on my birthday, I fell and broke my ass.
Yep.
And I missed a day and a half of work. Yes, it still hurts. I need a heating pad or an ice pack or something because it's not getting better and stairs suck. But I came back to work on Monday and found out that our manufacturing engineer is now our quality engineer. And so there's been a lot of changes at work, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to email and talk and change and, So, yeah, it's been busy, but it's been a good week. I've been busy. I've been able to keep myself busy, and so that's always a good thing. How about you? Anything exciting happening?
Are you kidding me? Our recording the podcast once a week, that's the most excitement that I get in my wonderful life that I lead.
That's not true.
My life is... No, it is. I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I work, I take care of my kids, I do homework, and I drink, and I go to bed. Not every night. I don't drink every night. Let's not make myself a lush, because I'm really not. I don't drink a whole lot, usually, but it is nice to have a drink with my best friend, even though it's over Skype. I like our drinking Skype calls. They're always fun. So,
you know what I'm drinking right now?
What? It looks like an Otter Pop.
It's an Otter Pop for adults. It really is. It's a margarita in a Otter Pop packaging. It's a frozen margarita in a little sleeve. It's almost like a Go-Gurt.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. That would be really nice for me here in Arizona, where it's, like 90 degrees outside, and I could use that to cool off. But I'm drinking, on one side, on my right side, I have a cup of Diet Coke and Malibu rum. And on my left side, I have a Belle from Beauty and the Beast shot glass with Fireball that I will be sipping throughout our episode. So those are my adult beverages.
That's so funny. Okay, so that being said, I do have 2 drinks also. I have a 7-Up sitting here that hasn't been opened yet. And I like to put grenadine in it, even though it doesn't have any alcohol in it. But I also have vodka if I want to add to it. Or I have a Diet Cherry Dr. Pepper that I could add the vodka to. So, yeah, I'm set.
I think I would probably go with the Diet Dr. Pepper and the vodka, considering it was marshmallow vodka. Somehow I don't think that 7-Up and marshmallow vodka would taste all that great. But what do I know? I don't.
You know what? Speaking of 7-Up, every time it was Sprite, but every time I drink a Sprite or a 7-Up or something like that, like a lemon lime drink, do you know what it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of the time that we rode the city bus around town and you got me drunk. You got me so drunk.
She tells this story all the time.
It is so true, though. Who would have thought that would happen? Oh my gosh, it was. And you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, do not mix JD and Sprite. It does not go together.
Is that what it was?
And it might go together. Yes, it was. Oh. It was JD. It was JD and Sprite. And it might go together if it was more Sprite than JD. But no, this girl right here decides to fill it up 3/4 JD and 1/4 Sprite. And I was drunk before my feet hit the ground.
How do you... Wait, I don't remember it was me who filled the cups. How do you know? Maybe it was you that made the drinks.
No. You were the expert back then, not this girl. This girl had never had a drink before. And you filled up one of those Piggly Wigglies. Remember those? Those are those plastic bottles with the, in case anybody doesn't know what those are. Piggly Wigglies. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the straws with the... Or the cups with the funky straws.
Yeah, plastic and then straws. And then, remember, I wore school clothes, brand new school clothes, because it was during the summer, so it was right before school started. And I wore brand new school clothes that my mother told me I wasn't allowed to wear until school started. And I got blue nail polish on a brand new tank top. Remember trying to take it out? Thinking we were so smart. You don't remember?
The only thing I remember about that whole incident, and honestly, if we weren't still friends, I probably wouldn't have even known this ever happened, because you are much better at remembering things from back in the day than I am. But what I do remember about that experience is, yes, we were on the city bus, and I remember riding, because, okay, I'm bad with directions. I have lived in Arizona my entire life, and I could not tell you I live on the east side of the valley, is what they call it. And I have always lived pretty much since I've been driving on the east side of the valley. Like where we grew up, it was kind of, it was the ghetto. Let's be real. And
yes, it was.
Yeah, it was the ghetto. And so if I have to go driving into the west side, into Phoenix, like where you lived for most of the time after high school, I get lost. I can't drive over there. I don't know where I am. I don't know how things work. If somebody gives me directions, you have to tell me landmarks. Yep. You can't tell me go to the light and then go east. I don't fucking know which way east is.
You sound like me. Yep.
I don't know. And if I didn't have the little thing in my car that tells me what direction I'm going, I wouldn't know what direction I'm going. And even then, if it's telling me I'm going north, I have to go never eat sour watermelon to even know where I'm in, what direction I'm going in. So I remember being on the bus and not knowing where we were. And I don't even know, were we taking the bus to a specific place?
Yeah, we were going to the mall, Park Central.
Oh, well, see, there's right there. Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, that's not my side of town, so I wouldn't know. And the only
reason we were going to Park Central is because I knew the area. We had gone around it. I had ridden the bus several times to Park Central. That's what I did, but I never did it drunk. So it was.
So it was basically. Because you didn't know where we were, because apparently I made you incoherent. Mm-hmm. We just sat on the bus. I didn't know where to get off. I didn't know what stop we needed to get off. So the bus pulls into like the bus depot, like where they go take the buses when they're off. When the bus driver's done driving the bus. We got there and I don't remember if it was a he or she, but the bus driver comes back and says, okay, this is the absolute last stop. You have to get off. And I'm like, no, we're not I don't know where we are. He's like, well, you have to get off. This bus is not going anywhere. This is it. And I don't remember how we got home. I don't remember what happened after that, but I remember just getting lost. We just sat because I didn't know where we were going or what we were doing. And apparently that's because I got you drunk. So
I remember we did make it to Park Central at some point. It was on the way home that they pulled into the bus garage. That part is a little fuzzy, but I remember the cops at Park Central and me I vaguely remember talking to the cops and not thinking anything of it, and you were like, will you shut the fuck up? Oh my gosh, we are so going to get arrested.
That's normal for Chris.
But yes, I don't know how we got home either. But
I don't remember.
Yeah, somehow or another we got back to your house and I had a hangover before I even went to sleep. It was miserable. I remember feeling terrible after that.
Oh, I'm sure.
And swearing off alcohol.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Never doing that again.
That's never going to happen. So I guess since we're talking about stuff that happened when we were younger, our topic today is talking about foods or treats, candy, anything really that we ate as kids and whether or not we still eat those things as adults. So I'll get started with, let's see. And the reason why I thought about this topic was grocery shopping with my kids yesterday, and we walked down the aisle where like SpaghettiOs and beefaroni and Chef Boyardee stuff was at. And
that all kids love?
And my kids have never had it. My kids have never had any of that stuff. And so I told them, I said, this is what I grew up on. I said, Uncle Corey, who's my brother, my mom would buy those cans of like beefaroni and the ravioli and SpaghettiOs. And the beefaroni, we would open the can and eat it directly out of the can. We wouldn't even heat it up. I know. Oh. And Nathan even looked at me. Nathan even looked at me and went, you didn't heat it up? You didn't make it cold? You didn't do anything? I said, no. We opened up the can. We got a fork. We sat down. We ate it right from the can. He was like, wow. I'm like, I know. So then he says, well, can I get I said, we used to eat SpaghettiOs all the time too, but I've tried to eat them as an adult and they're disgusting.
They are disgusting.
They're gross.
They have a horrible aftertaste.
Yeah, they do. And so Nathan goes, can I get a can of SpaghettiOs so I can try them? I'm like, they were like 79 cents. So I was like, go ahead. You can get one. It's still sitting on the table. He hasn't eaten it yet. So we'll see how long it sits there because I'm certainly not going to eat it.
So why haven't your kids ever had that? You just have never bought that for them before because you don't eat it, or just because my kids love that stuff? I never gave it to them. I just never bought it. I never gave it to them. And I don't really have a reason why. I wouldn't eat it as an adult anyway, but it was just not anything that I ever gave them. And my kids are strange because my kids don't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They just don't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And that's weird because, the margarita's gone. The margarita's gone.
The margarita's gone. So, and I still eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I could have 2 of them for dinner and call it good. But You know what I think it is? I think it's those Uncrustables that have ruined peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for my kids. Because Uncrustables are disgusting.
Yes, they really are.
They have too much peanut butter, too much jelly, and I just think my kids have gotten turned off by that, and they won't eat just a regular,
Okay, so
sandwich.
I have 2 that eat peanut butter on everything. Like, a jar of peanut butter does not last in my house at all. I could buy, like, the medium. In fact, I have bought, like, the big jars of Jif, and I've even bought the cans. You know how they have the cans of Jif or Skippy or whatever? I've bought the big cans of it, and I'll be lucky if it lasts us a month. Wow. And I'm talking about the big cans because my kids could eat it by the spoonfuls. Just eat it right out of the... I could too. And I'm a big fan of peanut butter. I really like the way it tastes, but it's so weird to describe it. Peanut butter for me, like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, sounds so good, but the bread has got to be super soft, and you can't. It always sounds better in my head than it actually tastes. And I don't know why that is. But my kids will eat it. Like, I can eat peanut butter, just peanut butter on bread, and I will sprinkle sugar on it. I haven't done that in a long time, but that's one of those staples.
I was going to bring that up on this episode. In fact, it was the second thing on my list that I put down of what we ate as kids, because I can remember eating that at your house all the time. Even when you'd stay at my house, we'd go and get a piece of bread, put some peanut butter on it, sprinkle some sugar on it, and we would just eat it. And I remember, and I still do that. I haven't done it, like you said, I haven't done it in a while, but I have done it as an adult. So
yeah, and the only reason why I don't do it as much as I did as a kid now is because being an adult means heartburn, and, you know, I get heartburn really easy now, and I don't like that. So yeah, that's a big problem for me. That's part of the reason why I don't eat it as much, because peanut butter gives me heartburn if I eat too much of it. But if you get the perfect slice of bread that's super, super soft, like when you bite into it and it is just, it doesn't bounce back because it's so super soft. That piece of bread spread with a ton of peanut butter on it, oh, that's so good.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I'm partial to, if I don't, I prefer to have a peanut butter and honey sandwich versus a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah, I like peanut butter and honey together. And another thing that I like to put peanut butter on that my kids actually eat now is putting peanut butter on a tortilla and rolling it up and eating it that way.
Yep.
And I still do that. I still do that as an adult. I will, if I'm just hungry and I don't want to make something, or I just need something to get in my stomach, I will peanut butter and a tortilla and roll it up, and I've mastered the exact amount of peanut butter you got to put on the tortilla. So when you roll it, you know, because if you put too much and you roll it, then it becomes like double the peanut butter. So you can't do that, because then you're just, it's just too much peanut butter. So
then it's hard to swallow because you feel like you're choking to death.
Well, yeah, there's that too. We don't want to choke.
What were you going to say?
So, do you remember eating pudding pops?
Yeah, pudding pops are good.
Oh my gosh, I wish they would bring pudding pop. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Pudding pops back, because we ate those things so much when I was young, and what I loved about them. Do you remember when you take it out of the freezer and it would have a thin layer of ice on it?
Yep. Yeah, and you would, that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, get the ice, eat the ice before you would actually eat the pudding pop. Oh my gosh, those were so good. I wish they'd bring those back. I'd have them in my freezer. They were so good.
Yeah, they were.
I'm like salivating. I haven't eaten dinner yet. I want a pudding pop. I wish I could buy some, but can't, because I don't make them no more. So
I didn't even. I haven't thought about those in a long time, but you're right. Yeah, those were really good, and I think my kids would love it. The closest thing that they have now is like frozen Go-Gurts or whatever, but they're just not as sweet. It's not. No, those aren't.
Pudding pops were the bomb. Although Bill Cosby was the spokesperson for pudding pops, so if they were to bring him back, I don't think he'd be the spokesperson anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Ugh. Yeah. It's a shame, because the Cosby Show was one of my favorite shows when I was little.
I know, but mine too.
Nobody knew what he was back then. So, so when we were growing up, and because we were in the, lived kind of in the ghetto, we had ice cream. We had ice cream men that came down the street.
Yep.
Played their little music, and we got stuff from the ice cream man. And what I remember getting from the ice cream man, I wrote down 3 things that I remember getting from the ice cream man. One was candy cigarettes, because we thought we were cool if we get the candy cigarettes, and then you could like blow the powder off, and it really looked like you were smoking. Then, yeah. And then you could either eat them, or you got the gum ones and you could chew them, which they were disgusting. The gum ones were gross. Were. But the other thing I remember getting is the cinnamon toothpicks. And do you remember the cinnamon? Yeah, the cinnamon toothpicks. I got those all the time. And then the last thing that I put that I can remember, other than like Choco Tacos that you would always get
wrote that down.
You just wrote that down?
Yep, I did.
Yeah, the Choco Tacos, where we always got the foot ice cream, the ice cream that was shaped in in like a foot, and there was a gumball in the big toe. And it was always blue or pink.
Yep.
I remember getting those all the time.
They have those now, like, you know, in all different, like SpongeBob, or remember the Bullet Pops? Like, you could get them in red, white, and blue, or, those.
Oh, do you remember the other ones? And they still make them. They were the cherry and pineapple ones, and they were like long ones, and if you ate
bullets,
the cherry, the cherry part of it, it looked like a penis.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
I think that's how we practice doing things that you do with a penis. I'm not going to say it, but yeah. Well, I mean, it looked like that, so.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the red, white, and blue ones were called bomb pops.
Bomb pops, yeah.
The other ones you could bite those were my mom's favorite, the bullets.
I love them.
They were really good. Yeah,
it was pineapple and
cherry. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
I'm gonna have to get some of those. Mm-hmm. And let's see. So when I was growing up, my grandfather on my mom's side, he drove a truck for Keebler. So every time we would go to my grandma's house, she would send us home with a bag full of Keebler stuff. Keebler cookies, Keebler crackers. I mean, I grew up with all that stuff. So, wow. And I don't buy them now because they're expensive. We always got them for free, so.
Right.
But one of my favorite ones were, and I don't know if they make them anymore, but I think they were kind of like a cinnamon cookie, but they were in the shape of a windmill, and they had slivers of almonds in them in certain places. And I don't remember what they were called, but those were my favorite ones. And then, of course, you had, the fudge stripe ones, the grasshoppers, the cookies that were shaped like elves, and then they had chocolate frosting in the middle of them. So we always had Keebler stuff, and I love Keebler club crackers. Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
I don't buy those because I will eat an entire box of Keebler club crackers. I'll eat the whole box. So I don't buy them, for that matter. For that fact, I don't buy them. So
you know, when I do buy those, I buy them with like a crab salad, and Brandon loves crab salad, so we'll eat them. And the club crackers are the best things that go with that. So
that sounds
but that's
good.
The only time it's a very rare occurrence that I buy either one of those because they're both expensive.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Go ahead.
So like when I was growing up, some of the things that I remember eating, like you said, ghetto. We lived in the ghetto, so I called it ghetto food. Mm-hmm. So I would take a piece of bread. If we didn't have anything to eat at home, I would take a piece of bread and spread. This is so gross. I can't even imagine doing it now. But I would take a piece of bread and spread butter on it and stick it in the microwave until the crust part of the bread got not hard, but a little bit more firm. And then I would eat it, or I would put a piece of cheese on it and make it the exact same way, but with cheese too. Oh, I think about that now, and it's so gross. But yeah,
that is definitely a poor child's meal.
Oh, most definitely that and ramen noodles. Although I still like ramen noodles.
I still like ramen noodles. It's so incredibly bad for you, especially as 40-something-year-old women. And I'm on blood pressure medicine, so ramen is really the worst thing that I could eat, which is probably what I'm going to eat after we're done recording. But don't tell anyone. But yeah, I mean, were you the one, like, I know I have a friend, or I probably have a couple friends, but you know how I said I put peanut butter on a tortilla?
Yep.
Were you the one that puts butter on the tortilla and rolls it up and eats it?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't do it with butter. Blah.
Because sometimes, I know, that's what I think too. So sometimes I'll tell people that I put the peanut butter on the tortilla and they'll be like, peanut butter? How come you don't use butter? And I'm thinking, because I don't really like the taste of, and not real butter, but margarine, like the fake shit that we always, we grew up with. So I don't like the taste of just, I mean, put it on a baked potato, sure. Put it on a piece
Right.
of, you know,
Right.
hot toast, okay. But to put it cold on a tortilla and roll it up and eat it, that makes me want to vomit. That does not sound good to me at all. But people do it. Oh, and they'll put sugar on it too and then roll it up. Okay, I guess. I mean, I guess my peanut butter thing's weird, but...
Now, see, when I was growing up, my mom would make like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and she would put butter on it first, and then peanut butter and jelly, and I can't do that.
Why
I think about
would she do that?
Because my mom is a butter-loving fanatical freak. She loves butter. Seriously, she fries everything. You know my mom. She fries everything. But any sandwiches she made, if it had like mayonnaise on it, she put butter in them mayonnaise. It was always butter on the bread first when she was making a sandwich. And one other thing that one of her favorite meals, and this, when I was a kid, my mom would make food that I just didn't like. And, you know, like liver and onions. My mom loved liver and onions. And one night she made like liver, and she breaded it instead of, I don't know how they make it any other way, but she breaded it so it had like a, you know, like a breading on it. Yeah. I one bite of it and I was like, this is liver. And she's like, no, it's fried chicken. No, it ain't. You cannot mask liver for fried chicken.
No,
there's no masking that.
It does not. No, it does not taste like chicken. I can tell you right now. Because when I was growing up, my grandfather, you've been to my grandpa's cabin and you spent time up there. He made, it was always elk liver because he would hunt elk and we had elk meat a lot. So he did one time, it was me and my brother and then all of our cousins were up there and he made liver and onions for dinner. Well, I can remember that my brother and I liked it. Like we ate ours. My cousins were like, hell no. And that was the only time I had it. And then when my mom was visiting a couple years ago, we were eating at a restaurant in Strawberry because my uncle has a cabin up there.
Yep. And
my mom ordered liver and onions. And I took a bite of it. Oh my God, it was disgusting. It was mushy. And it was, I think it was more of like the texture. Yes. Yes, mushy and pasty. Like, if I want to eat paste, I'll just go buy a can of paste and eat it like you did when you were in kindergarten.
And just the taste. I can't do the taste. And you know, one other thing, like when I was a kid, avocados were like that for me. They were, the texture of them, they were like pasty and they tasted awful. And now as an adult, I could eat them like an apple. I love avocados.
I'm exactly the same way. I did not like them when I was little, and now I can open it up and I can take half of it, sprinkle salt and pepper on it, and just eat it right out of the skin. Oh yeah. Yep. I love avocados, except for they make me a little gassy, so I can't eat them a whole lot.
Do you like Nutella?
Okay. I can't answer that question, and the reason I can't answer that question is because I have only had Nutella one time, and I don't think that I liked it. And I mean, for me, like, I love chocolate. I mean, my ass tells you that I like chocolate, and I like good chocolate. I don't want artificial chocolate. And to me, Nutella tastes like artificial chocolate.
Well, and hazelnut. It's made with hazelnut, too, but it is disgusting. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. I mean, I like hazelnut, except for I think I'm allergic to hazelnut now. Because I used to always get hazelnut in my coffee, like hazelnut flavoring in my coffee.
Yep.
And then I started realizing that every time I would drink it, I would get, like, itchy. Like, my chest would get itchy, and my arms would get itchy, and my face would get itchy. Ugh. And then I would stop drinking the hazelnut, and I would never feel that way again. And then I tried to drink it again, like hazelnut, like creamer or anything, and it makes me itchy. Like, it just, so I think I'm allergic to maybe artificial hazelnut, but not that I have, like, real hazelnuts sitting around my house and I eat them, but
right.
I wouldn't even know how to eat a hazelnut, to be honest.
Yeah, me either. And I mean, I like hazelnut creamer in my coffee, but I don't like Nutella at all. Ugh.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it either. I wasn't. So, I wrote down also our school lunches when we were in junior high and high school. I don't remember school lunches in elementary school. I don't remember much about elementary school anyway. But I do remember in junior high, we had the hot lunch line, and then you had like your snack lunch line. Well, we ate through the hot lunch line a lot. And we always did it on pizza day. Mm-hmm. But why did we like that pizza? It was the square pizza. And I can tell you, right? It's gross.
It is gross.
We literally lived for pizza day at lunch.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
For pizza day at lunch. I don't know why. It's funny
because I think that kids and I can't even say that because my kids now, they have pizza at school, and I've had Katie call me and say they're having something fish. She does this on fish. She'll call me at work and say, they're having fish today. Will you bring me lunch? No. Suffer through it. But yeah, there's certain things that like my kids won't even eat, and I don't know. I don't know why we like the pizza so much.
Yeah, I think my kids have it good with their school lunches now. Ian doesn't eat school lunch. He takes his lunch every day. It's usually Lunchables, but he hates the school lunch. Nathan likes the school lunch, but he's in junior high, so he gets to eat sandwiches and pizza and all kinds of crap that I pay for. And sometimes I have to be like, kid, you need to slow down. Like, stop spending my money on crap. Like, honestly. And then I'd go in and check his account because, it keeps taking money out of my account. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you eating? One time I went in there and he was like, there was like one day he spent like $8 on lunch. And I was like, what are you doing? Why did you spend $8 on lunch? He's like, well, one of my friends didn't have any money, so I bought him some stuff. Okay. First of all, that was nice of you to buy your friend lunch if he didn't have any money. But somehow, I kind of don't believe that your friend didn't have any money for lunch.
Right.
I think he was just trying to get free stuff. But, Nathan, you need to keep that to a minimum. I'm not rich. I can't feed every friend that you have at school. I can't feed them lunch.
Right?
You're bad enough.
I tell my kids they're not allowed to eat breakfast at school because the school lunches are $2.45 per kid and $1.25 for breakfast. We have breakfast food here. And if you're not going to make your lunch, then you eat at the school, but I'm only buying school lunches. I'm not buying breakfast, too. And they can't, the way that it's set up there is they have to put in their ID number or whatever, and so they're not allowed to buy more than one lunch with their ID, so they wouldn't be able to buy it for their friends, which is good because Dylan would be the one who'd be like, oh, I'll get that.
Yeah, that's how Nathan is. Oh, I'll buy it for you. But I remember the lunch trays, and we had the pizza on there, and then they had like peaches in the sauce and the juice or whatever, and probably corn, I would assume, was probably on there too, and some form of a salad, I think, some iceberg lettuce and some dressing, I think is when. But can I tell an embarrassing story about you one time at lunch in junior high?
Why even ask? You're going to tell it anyway. Hey, is this my retainer story or my masturbation story?
Masturbation, baby.
Oh, gosh.
I love this story. I know. So we've talked about in earlier episodes, we've talked about how Chris used to not always think before she would talk. She would just say things without thinking it through first. And so we're sitting around the table, and we're sitting with some friends and some guy friends, and the guys are talking about masturbation. And now I'm going to confess, at the time when this conversation went on, I had no idea what masturbation was. But because I can think before I talk, I played it off like I knew exactly what it was. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Played it off. But Chris, on the other hand, sitting over there, little Miss Innocent.
I did not say I didn't know what it was.
You asked what it was. Yes, you asked what it was.
I had the deer in the headlight look, and that guy looked at me and went, "You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?" Or he goes, "You don't know what that means. Sean Braddock. You don't know what that means." Braddock. And I went, yeah. It was real obvious I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't say anything, but I might as well have.
Yeah. I wasn't a good friend back then because they all started laughing, and I, again, played it off like I knew what it meant, and I laughed along with them, so that's bad. Oh, yeah.
Van made fun of me more than anybody else did that day.
Yeah. I still make fun of you more than anybody else.
Yeah, I think that day... Was that the day that I lost my shit on the playground with Jennifer? Because I was so humiliated and so embarrassed, and yeah, there was just some days.
I don't know. It might have been the same day that I threw rocks at Eddie Fansler.
Oh my gosh! Didn't you hit him in the head?
Oh yeah, I hit him in the head with a rock.
Really hard.
I was mean back then. Yeah, he had to go to the nurse. I was mean back then.
Yeah, you were like awful.
I was awful. I don't know why you still stayed my friend. I really don't.
I don't either. I don't know. I was delusional. I don't know.
So what's your excuse as an adult? Well, I'm nicer as an adult, so.
You are nicer as an adult. And I know what masturbation means now.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I know you do. We've had those conversations.
Yep. Yeah. Do you remember in the 7th grade when or the 8th grade when I threw my retainer away by accident and you had to help me find it? Boy, that's
I was just going to ask you. I was just going to ask you what the retainer story was.
Yeah, I accidentally, it was on my tray, and we dumped our tray.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to go back and look for it, and you looked for it with me, even though you didn't want to.
Well, I don't want to dig through the garbage. Shit.
But you did.
Retainer. I know. See, I could be nice. I was kind of nice when I wanted to be or needed to be. But, yeah, that's a true friend digging through the garbage looking for a slimy fucking retainer. Gross. Yep. Ugh, that makes me give me the heebie-jeebies.
The heebie-jeebies. Hey, guess what?
What?
Guess what I'm considering doing?
Oh, God. This is never a good conversation. What?
Yes, it is. This is a good conversation. This is actually something really good. Something I haven't done in years and years and years. They put out a posting on Facebook that they're taking auditions for a play called Always a Bridesmaid for the summer theater. So I was considering auditioning, but I don't know. I haven't done that since the 8th grade?
8th grade?
Well, since high school. I haven't actually. Yeah.
You were Professor Jagger? Was it Professor Jagger? I think Jagger. I still have a program from that play.
I want to see the actual play. I know it was VCR taped.
Oh my God.
Way back
I remember
in the day.
I didn't have a part in that play. I was part of the ensemble. But we did do a play where I was a Charleston dancer.
Yep,
and
me too.
I got a lot of compliments on that one.
That was class 3. That was 8th grade. Professor Jagger was 7th grade.
7th grade? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just remember your hair being like 14 feet high. Yeah.
Yep, and she put horns in it. I remember that too, and I had to sing. I had to sing in that. So I made it into a talk sing crazy. Yeah, it was.
Well, yeah, because you can't sing.
But I did a really good job in that play.
No, you did. You did. I'll give you that. Ass. You did. Yeah. No, I just do cartwheels and flash the whole 8th grade. That's all I ever do.
Yes, you do. See, and I always think I'm the only one who does anything that's so humiliating, but apparently I'm not. Because, embarrassing moments happen to everybody.
I'm sure that I have I have had moments in my life where I've been very embarrassed. But we're not going to talk about those tonight. Do you remember... I'm changing the subject. Do you remember anything, like one meal or one thing that you ate in your house, like all the time, at least once a week? Your mom would either make it or you would eat it at least once a week in your house.
Goulash or enchilada casserole. Those were the two things that I remember most.
I remember your mom's goulash. I remember your mom's goulash, yeah.
And I make that. That's a family favorite here. I make that a lot. I like enchilada casserole, but it was like my mom's version of it. It was just kind of her concoction, and I like it, but my kids don't. They don't like the green chilies in it, so I don't get to make it very often. But the other day, I made it for the first time in like a couple of years, and surprisingly, they all liked it, including Mark. And he's more of a bland kind of, he doesn't like a lot of seasoning on his food. So this having such a strong, it's made with green chilies, and it's kind of a Mexican dish. It's like layered tortillas and the meat sauce and stuff. Yeah, but it's not really a Mexican dish. So it doesn't have like the chili powder or anything. I mean, it doesn't have any of like that, like the spicy. Yeah. But the green chilies are about the most, I don't know, the spiciest part of it. That's what makes it taste kind of like a Mexican dish.
Yeah, and green chilies aren't spicy.
No, they're not at all. And then when my mom was up here visiting a couple years ago, she made this, she took potatoes that she cooked, like she heated them up in the microwave, and then she kind of mashed them up in ground beef, and then put green chilies in that, and then put them in corn tortillas, like fried corn tortillas, and she called them potato tacos. And my family likes that, but I don't really have anything that I make all the time that I made when I was growing up, but except for goulash, like goulash and spaghetti. Those are really easy, and they're family favorites with breadsticks or garlic bread.
Yeah.
What about you?
I can remember, well, when I was growing up, my parents were gone a lot, so we were left at home a lot, and so we pretty much with the JCs, and so we grew up either having takeout like McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wendy's. Like I grew up on fast food, and we always had TV dinners. We always had like the Swanson TV dinners with like the foil on top of them that you couldn't put them in the microwave because they were in aluminum. You actually had to put them in the oven.
Yep.
And my favorite one of those was always the Salisbury steak and the macaroni and cheese. And then it always came with a brownie.
Of course.
That most of it stuck to the aluminum thing. Or it came with like the cinnamon apple crap that was always gross. But I will still eat, if I get like a frozen lunch, something for lunch, and like, lean cuisine or anything like that, I will always get a Salisbury steak and macaroni and cheese one. They've improved over the years. Oh yeah, I'll always eat it. I love it. But
I can remember
that was always, and then my mom.
Go ahead. Your mom what?
My mom always made spaghetti with meat sauce all the time. That was always a staple that we had in my house, was spaghetti and meat sauce. We had that a lot with garlic bread. I can remember that. I can remember her cooking it.
I struggle a lot when it comes to dinner because I have to make it every single night. Too. They have to eat every single night. I just fed them last night.
God damn it.
They have to eat again tonight. It really is. It's just every night, and it's the same exact conversation. I text Mark and say, "What do you want for dinner?" And his answer is, "What are the options?" And I say, "I don't know. What do you feel like?" And he says, I don't care, or "I'm not that hungry." And it's like, you are no help at all to me right now. Every single night, it's the same conversation.
You shouldn't even ask.
Yeah. I know. So I thought about making these like dinners, like several dinners, and freezing them and labeling them, "I don't know, I don't care, It's up to you. Those ones. So if he says, it's up to you, I just go pull the one out that says it's up to you and put it in the, cook it. Because the conversation is the same every time. I don't know why I ask.
I don't know why you ask either. You should just make whatever you're going to make. And if they don't like it, they don't have to eat it.
I know, but that's the problem. I don't know what I want either. So there's also been like, I have made, I don't know, like I'll make a crock pot meal because it's easy and I love cooking in the crock pot because it's all right there.
I love the crock pot.
Yep. And then we'll do like one night we'll have a roast and then the next night we'll do like I'll shred the whatever meat was in it. We'll shred that, make it into burritos. And that's, that's good for a couple of meals. And I love doing stuff like that. I just hate coming up with dinners. But once in a while I'll get like a wild hair up my ass and I'll make something like, I don't know, chicken parmesan and make it with my own spin on it. And I don't know, it's good. But I don't do that very often.
I always gauge my dinners.
A treat night.
Yeah, I always gauge my dinners off how many pots and pans am I going to have to dirty to make this meal. Because I don't like to clean pans. And I don't like to do dishes. So I think I was really made to have a maid. I think that I need to have a maid because I'm lazy and I don't like to do dishes. And I mean, I like to cook. For me, cooking is a stress relief, and I really enjoy cooking. It's hard to cook when you're a single mom with 2 kids who, don't really like... I can't really say that. My little one's a little bit picky, but my older one will always eat whatever I make. He'll at least try it. Yeah. And I have a lot of stuff I make that he really enjoys, and he has some favorites that I know if I make it, he's going to be happy. But I'm trying to think of it, and if I could cook every meal in a crock pot, I would cook every meal in a crock pot.
Yep.
I love my crock pot. You put a crock pot liner in there, put all your stuff in there, you come home and it's already done. You just got to scoop it out. And then when you're done with everything in the crock pot, you pick that liner up, you throw it in the garbage, wipe out your crock pot with a paper towel, done. No dishes. You slap that shit on a paper plate so they can throw it in the garbage when they're done. That's my kind of night right there.
That's fancy cooking right there. You're using the fancy dishes and fancy everything. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know that paper plates are not eco-friendly, but let me tell you, I don't like to do dishes, and if we can eat on paper plates, we're eating on paper plates.
And they're Vanessa-friendly.
There's some meals that you can't eat on paper. Huh?
They are van-friendly, Vanessa-friendly.
Oh, yes. Yes, for sure. For sure.
We use paper plates, too, and I know I know the same thing. They're not eco-friendly, but still, it's, I don't like doing dishes either.
Yeah, I don't. If I could avoid it, shoot. If I can avoid doing anything in my house, I do, which is probably why I need to vacuum and maybe dust a little bit. And my kitchen floor needs to be mopped, but when you trying to clean a house when you have kids is, just virtually impossible. Why am I going to mop my kitchen floor when all they're going to do is go in there and spill something on the floor and not wipe it up and then step in it and then just track it all over the house? It's just pointless. It's just...
I know.
Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
And you don't have to convince me. Those damn commercials are liars. Pampers. I'm taking you to court.
Lies. They're all lies. All right. Are you ready to do best friend questions?
I am ready to do best friend questions. But before we do this, while we're still talking about food, I got to tell you a quick story. I got to tell you what my son did to me. Okay, so when I was growing up, we had baked potato or mashed potatoes. Anytime my mom made mashed potatoes, it meant she was going to boil the potatoes, she was going to mash it up and put butter and milk in there, and we were going to have mashed potatoes with salt and pepper. And that's how I grew up. That's all that I knew of as far as mashed potatoes went. So then when I met Mark, he introduced me to gourmet potatoes. Gourmet potatoes are made with sour cream and cheese and all that, you put all that stuff in it. She made hers with like green, like the green peppers or not green peppers, I'm sorry, green onions and all that stuff, okay? So I've always put my own spin on it because I'm not a big fan of the onions and all that in it. So I just ever since then, I've never made regular mashed potatoes. I always make it with the cheese and the sour cream and all that stuff. So she comes up to visit, and Dylan says to her, Grandma, you've got to taste my mom's gourmet potatoes. They're better than anything you'll ever taste. And I was like, where do you think I got that recipe? So I was really afraid then when they tasted hers, because she made gourmet potatoes that night. And I was afraid that they were going to like hers, and then I was going to have to make it like her every time. But they liked them both, and so that's a good thing. They liked mine too, and I don't have to change it, which is good. Anyway, that was my little story.
Yeah. No, my mashed potatoes consist of boiling the water, putting the powdered potatoes in there, and stirring them so they make mashed potatoes. So.
I do make instant mashed potatoes too, but I like them.
Oh, yeah.
We eat a lot of potatoes around here because I like them fried, and I like them, gourmet. I like them mashed. I like them baked. I like all kinds of potatoes. Oh, yeah. So we do that a lot.
There's nothing wrong with the potato. Oh, yeah.
Okay, no, so go ahead.
Nothing wrong with the potato. Okay, so my best friend question to you is, do I believe in ghosts? And if I do, have I ever seen one?
Oh, shit. I think you do believe in ghosts. And I believe at the 48th Street house you did have one. Or you said you had one, I think.
Well, my mom said that we had one, yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of what I'm remembering. I do think you believe in ghosts. I don't think that there was ever a question about that. But I have some friends that do and some friends that don't, so hopefully I'm not confusing you with somebody else. So
no,
my answer
you're right.
to that is
I do
yes.
believe in ghosts. Yes, I do believe in ghosts. And I have actually encountered a ghost, or I have seen a ghost. My mom always said in the house we were growing up, she thought that there was a ghost in that house because every time she'd get in the shower, she would always think that the back door would open and close, and she knows that she locked it. And she would actually walk out of the bathroom and go check the door, and it would be locked, and she'd go back in and start to get in the shower, and she'd hear the door open and close again.
Are you talking about like the back Arcadia? The back Arcadia door?
No, the back door that was by the carport. Through the kitchen.
Yep.
And yeah. She always heard that door. But my encounter with a ghost, I'll make the story short, but I went to Roswell, New Mexico to visit a friend, and another friend went with me. And, Roswell, New Mexico is famous for, alien stuff. And we were staying at one of her friend's house. There was a bunch of people who lived in the house, and it was over Halloween. And the other friend and I were sleeping in the living room on a pull-out couch. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night because I heard somebody walk from the hallway, around our bed and into the kitchen. Ew. And I would wake up and listen, and I wouldn't hear anything, and I'd start to go back to sleep, and I would hear it again, but there was never anybody there. So I never said anything about it then. But then, you know how sometimes you see things out of the corner of your eye, and you kind of look over, but then nothing's there? Well, I kept seeing out of the corner of my eye, there was a cutout where you go down to the bedrooms, the bathrooms and the bedrooms of the house from the living room. There was a square cutout. And I saw a guy standing up against the wall, kind of with his foot up, and he was wearing a red jacket and a blue hat. And every time, I'd see it and I'd look, and then it would not be there. So Halloween night, we were having a party, and we were all sitting around the table talking or whatever, and somebody makes the statement of, has anybody seen in this house a guy standing over there? And she points to where the opening is. And he's wearing, and I said, red jacket and blue hat. And she said, yes. And I go, yeah, I've seen him. So she had seen the same thing that I had seen. And then like 2 or 3 other people had said that they had seen the same thing. So come to find out, the guy who was renting the house, he told us that the people who own the house was a father and a son. And the father came home one night and found his son in the back bedroom, and he had shot himself.
Oh my!
And the father, I know, the father sat down next to his son, took that same gun, and shot himself.
Oh my!
And we think that the guy that we were seeing was the father. He was his spirit or whatever was still in there. So I do believe in the paranormal. I do believe in ghosts. I think that they do exist. I'm kind of a morbid person, really. I mean, we've talked about it before. I love serial killers. I love true crime. I listen to several true crime podcasts. I like hearing all that. I just like, it's fascinating to me. It's just fascinating to me. So I can't watch ghost shows or anything like that when I'm in my house by myself. It scares me. So anyway, that's my ghost story. So you go with your question.
Okay, so my question is kind of boring, actually. Actually, no. Okay, so do I collect anything? Do I have any collections of anything?
Yes, you do. I know you collect dolphins. And
yes, I do.
I know that I think you collect, it's either snow globes or angels. I can't remember which one it is.
It's both.
Oh, well, see, I knew more than I thought.
Okay, so the dolphins, I've always had a big thing with dolphins. That they're my favorite animals, and I don't know why. I just think that they're neat. And then the snow globes, after I got married, I started collecting them, and I've got quite a few of them. I haven't really collected any in the recent past. And then the angels I collect just because my grandma made them for me. So they're my most prized possession. They're priceless to me. But those are the only things that I really collect. And I think that there was one time my grandma she makes ceramic. She did for a long time. She made these ceramic angels, and there was one time that I dropped one and broke it, and I cried and cried and cried and cried. Oh. So she made me a new one.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And that's important to me. Yep. So anyway, that's my awesome. That's it.
Well, I'm glad that I could answer that question.
Yeah,
I almost asked you that same question too.
And I would have said elephants.
Well, yeah, everybody knows that. I collect elephants, and I also have a bunch of Beauty and the Beast stuff. Because once you say that you like something, then everybody for like the next 6 birthdays and Christmases, they give you something of that thing that you said that you liked. So elephants I've always liked because my great aunt Dorothy she liked elephants too. And I just think elephants are fascinating animals. And the Beauty and the Beast thing, Beauty and the Beast was my favorite Disney movie. And then as soon as I say that I like Beauty and the Beast, man, I got all kinds of Beauty and the Beast shit. I have a whole shelf on my entertainment center that's just full of Beauty and the Beast. Not that I'm complaining. I have some really nice stuff and I will have it forever. But, you start getting the same stuff and you're like, okay, stop with the elephants already. I don't have anywhere to put this shit anymore. So I just stopped telling people that I like anything because I don't want anything. Like, if I say I like daisies, well, even one time I said I liked Tweety Bird. I got a Tweety Bird blanket. I got a Tweety Bird pillow. I got Tweety Bird everything one year for Christmas. I was like, for the love of God. Just because I say I like it doesn't mean I want a bunch of shit.
Right?
Anyway, I think that's the fireball talking. Sorry. I went on a little rant there. All right. Well, we need to wrap up this. I know, right? We need to wrap up this episode before I start really going off on something.
Well, yeah, and
so
it's 10:30 over here, so I gotta go to bed.
I know. You need to go to bed. It's past your bedtime, old woman.
It is. I'm old.
So you can... I know. Ahead. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. Facebook. We're on Podbean. You can email us at spikedcoffeeandsarcasm@gmail.com. Send us some emails. We want to start doing our mini-sodes, but we need your input. So email us. Let us know what you're thinking. Tell us something you want us to talk about. Parenting. I mean, Life. You can call in about relationship stuff, but yeah. You can email about relationship stuff, but mine's going to be pretty cynical. So if you don't want to hear bad relationship stuff, then I'm not your person.
But I might be, because, I'm the romantic.
Well, no. Yeah. If you need to know how to tell a guy to fuck off, I can tell you how to do that. Chris will tell you how you can woo him into staying forever, if that's really what you want to do.
You can also find us on iTunes and Spotify. We are on both of those as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Tumblr. I said that already.
I forgot about. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Forgot about those ones. I just want to give a quick shout out. I don't know who this person is, but we have a very dedicated listener in Sweden. Because every time an episode comes out, we have this person in Sweden who listens to that episode as soon as it comes out. So whoever you are in Sweden, we'd like to say hi and shoot us an email. Let us know who you are so we can, get to know you. You can become a friend.
Yes.
Properly thank you. But we're glad that you're listening and you listen every episode. So I'm taking that as you like us, or maybe you're writing bad stuff about us in a Sweden newspaper. Who knows? I don't think that's happening, but we've gotten some reviews on iTunes. I don't know the names off the top of my head, so we'll give a proper shout out to those podcasts next week. But we did get some nice reviews, so
I know that their names. One of them is Brad Thomas, and the other one is Jody. Okay. I don't know her last name, but we'll definitely get the actual names of their podcasts. And definitely be sure to say thank you.
Yes, we will definitely give you a proper shout out in the next episode, and thank you for the reviews. So that's it for us. So I hope that we made you laugh or made you smile or made your bad day better. Hopefully that's what we're here to do. So everybody have a good night or day or week whenever you listen to us. But we'll see you guys later. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.